Good evening, Southern Maryland, and I'm aspiring meteorologist John Bordash with you right now to give you an updated look at our upcoming winter storm that's set to hit the area as we head into this weekend. And this is the third winter storm within a week, and we have another winter storm warning in effect. But today, we saw temperatures get right around 45 degrees for the high temperature, 24 was your low. We saw a chilly morning this morning, and most areas were even cooler than that 24, as Pax River is a coastal location, so it gets that water influence off of the bay and river. So many inland areas did see temperatures get closer down to 20 degrees, and this was another below average day. But I think as we head on into this upcoming week, temperatures will try to get back to average or maybe even a little bit above average, and that normal temperature does sit at 49 degrees. We have another winter storm warning in effect in pink on up towards the north, Frederick County, Maryland, northern Baltimore County, on over towards Carroll County, Washington County, back on over towards the West Virginia Panhandle. This takes effect at 5 a.m. Tonight, going on over through early Sunday morning. Those purple shaded counties, that's Montgomery County, Howard County, on over towards Baltimore, Harford County, and back on through portions of northern Virginia. These areas are looking at a winter weather advisory. The main difference with this storm than any other storm, or really the last weekend storm, was this is going to be more of a snow event than an ice event. Now, when you talk about winter weather forecasting, what you want to keep in mind is that you really want to stick with a trend because weather tends to happen in trends. Now, the past two storms are really our first storm and also kind of our second storm. We started off with snow and went over to icy mix and then to rain, right? This storm will be following suit, at least here in the Southern Maryland area. Even with the last storm, we did see some snowflakes on the onset, went to a wintry mix briefly, went to rain, and some of you returned back to snow at the end of the event. Here are the four zones I'm looking at in my forecast and I'm going to detail. So we have a white zone, a light pink zone, a darker pink zone, and then a green zone, that's Southern Maryland, and I'll describe to you in detail each one of these forecast zones. So first we'll take a look at that white zone. This is an area that I'm expecting mainly snow. It may mix at times with a wintry mix during the nighttime hours as we look at warmer air try to work into the area. But I think even with that, snow totals will get above 4 inches, maybe even approach that 6-inch point. In this light pink zone, I'm thinking that this is going to be starting off with some snow, maybe even some heavy snow. But I think as we headed right around what would be the evening rush, or right around 5 or 6 o'clock, we go over to a mix and then over to rain by midnight. And I think snow totals here could be 2 to 4 inches, or even heavier than that, depending on how heavy the snow band's set up. Now, in this darker pink zone, that's Washington, Annapolis, Baltimore, and over towards Warrenton. This includes a lot of Anne Arundel County and northern portions of Prince George's County. This starts off as snow, and then goes over to a mix right around 2 or 3 o'clock. And then that mix transpires over to rain by 6 or 7 o'clock. Now, what do I mean by a mix? In most cases, a mix is sleet, or maybe even some freezing rain. I think here, even with that sleet and freezing rain, and eventually rain, they may be able to squeeze out 1 to 2 inches, maybe more the further north you head, but I'm not expecting any more than that, as I don't think we're going to have the right conditions available to us for a heavier snow, but areas right up along the bay. We'll be looking at snow totals that are lower, closer to that one, but the northern portion of the bay is iced over, so we may be looking at higher snow totals up there. And down here in Southern Maryland, we're going to be looking, when this starts, at some snow, maybe even some sleet, and I think by right around noon, so I think that the start time for us will be right around 8 or 9 o'clock. Then I think by noon we go over to some sleet, and then I think right around 2 or 3 we go over to some rain, and those snow totals will be less than 1 inch. I don't really expect any measurable snow. Here's my snow forecast. Again, 4 inches plus back towards Frostburg, Hagerstown, on over towards West Virginia. 2 to 4 inches in that lighter blue zone, so areas right around Baltimore, on over towards Frederick and Winchester, down towards Petersburg. I think right around the I-95 corridor, on over towards Route 66, and really north of Route 50, this area will be looking at 1 to 2 inches. Again, this is not a Southern Maryland storm. This is going to be like what we saw this past weekend. I think it's completely possible that we see even more snow than this on up towards Frederick and Baltimore, maybe even further south than that, maybe even getting down to towards Montgomery County, Annapolis, on over, maybe towards Washington. It depends on how much cold air we can get in here. But again, this will be a northern Maryland effect, Northern Maryland snowstorm, not a Southern Maryland snowstorm. But I'll continue to watch this nevertheless, as we do have the chance at least to see some snow and some sleet. This will not be a high impact storm for us. I think this will be maybe a low to maybe moderate impact storm. Again, the main story with this is going to be rain, not snow. But I'll continue to keep you updated. This will be a major winter storm, though, the further north you head into Pennsylvania, New York, over towards Connecticut, back on over towards Massachusetts and Vermont. But rain here, that's going to be the headline for tomorrow. Going into Sunday morning, it's going to be that rain that will be impacting the area. I'll continue to keep you updated on this. If I get any new watches or warnings, I'll definitely pass those along to you. Have a nice and safe one, and I'll have a complete look at your 7-day forecast later on tonight.